Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Happy Friday, and since it's a Friday, we are joined today by Buddha's
Buddha's
Belly.
Belly na kanina pa namin kinakain bago pa mag-start ang brunch. Ang sarap. Of course, we have hakaw, different kinds of, ang tawag dyan, mga dimsum. And of course, our yung signature fried rice.
Yang chow ba yan?
Oh,
Yang chow or sausage fried rice. Yang chow fried rice, yun.
Okay. So marami tayong issues today,
Friday
of course,
ngayon,
as usual.
of course, tapos na rin ang US elections, may bagyo. So pagtutuon na napansin ng mga issues
Oo, ang Cagayan, kawawa.
Issues natin sa bayan. From Marce, also moving forward, the Philippine elections is just around the corner. So yun din.
Hindi pala medyo bothered talaga ako doon sa mga nangyayari ngayon, especially doon sa Cagayan. No? Yung, although palabas na nga or nakalabas, I'm not sure, ang ng Philippine Air Responsibility itong si Marce. Pero grabe yung devastation din na iniwan niya sa Cagayan.
Marce is actually weakened into possibly signal number 3 already.
Pero kung nakita mo yung mga pictures yung sa Cagayan, grabe, they really need help right now. Pero sige, isa lang yan sa mga pag-uusapan natin today.
We're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Let's start off our countdown with Typhoon Marce. Cagayan has experienced not just one but two landfalls of the storm. Marce made its first landfall in Santa Ana, Cagayan yesterday noon. Now, the second landfall occurred at 9 p.m. over the town of Sanchez Mira. The towns of Sanchez Mira, Claveria, and Santa Pracedes are currently under signal number 3. Around 6,000 families in Cagayan are currently in evacuation centers. So, double landfall siya, ha?
Yes.
Umalis, nag-re-enter ulit. So, ang nakakatakot sa ganyan kasi pag umaalis at hindi sa land, sa bandang dagat pupunta, nagre-re-energize siya. So pag bumalik siya sa loob, same area, yung lakas niya. Oo, nag-ipon.
Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown. For our ninth spot, let's check in on the weather. Marce further weakens as it accelerates westward over the West Philippine Sea. For the details, Pag-asa weather forecaster Chanel Dominguez is now on the line. Magandang umaga po sa iyo, Ms. Chanel.
Magandang umaga din po sa inyo at magandang umaga din po sa mga taga-subaybay po natin. So ito pong si Bagyong Marce ay may typhoon category pa rin naman po, pero mahagya na po itong humina with maximum sustained winds of 150 kilometers per hour at pagbugso na 205 kilometers per hour. Ito'y kumikilos west-southwestward sa bilis na 15 kilometer per hour. Sa ngayon po, nasa labas na po siya ng ating Philippine land mass at inihintay na lang po natin yung kanyang paglabas po ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility mamayang hapon or mamayang gabi. Pero sa ngayon po, meron pa rin parang tayong tropical cyclone wind signal number 3 dito sa may Ilocos Norte, northern western portion ng mainland Cagayan, northwestern portion ng Apayao, northern at western portion ng Abra at northern portion ng Ilocos Sur. Signal number 2 naman sa western portion ng Babuyan Islands, northern at western portion ng mainland Cagayan, nalalabing bahagi ng Apayao, Abra, northern at western portion ng Kalinga at central portion ng Ilocos Sur. Signal number 1 naman dito sa Batanes, nalalabing bahagi ng Babuyan Islands, rest of mainland Cagayan, northern at western portion ng Isabela, northern at western portion ng Nueva Vizcaya, northwestern portion ng Quirino, nalalabing bahagi ng Kalinga, Ilocos Sur, Mountain Province, Ifugao, Benguet, La Union at northern at central portion ng Pangasinan. Sa kita po natin, habang papalabas po siya, papalayo po siya ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility, ay magiging hihina na po itong si Bagyong Marce hanggang sa maging tropical depression na lamang po. Sa ngayon, meron din tayong binabantayang low pressure area sa labas po ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility. Kung pagbabasihan po natin ang ating nilabas na TC threat, ay asahan po natin may chance po na may bagyo po ulit tayo next week.
Ano po ba yung nakikita natin posibleng track nitong papasok na bagyo sa atin?
So ngayon po, marami pa po kasing uncertainties po yung tracks po niya na possible po mangyari dahil din po ito po si Marce ay nandito pa rin po sa ating papuntang West Philippine Sea. So marami pa po ang pwedeng magbago din po dito po sa possible track po ng susunod po natin.
Of course, Chanel, it's, since approaching natin yung weekend, madaming kababayan nagtatanong, kamusta na po ang magiging rainfall warning natin para at least, di ba, yung plans nila maayos nila?
Yes po, asahan po natin, yung weekend po natin, start na po mag-i-improve ang ating weather para din po sa mga kababayan po natin dito sa Northern Luzon, yung natamaan po nito ni Bagyong Marce. Asahan po natin mag-i-improve na po ang kanilang panahon habang papalayo din po itong si Marce at habang papalayo naman din po ay nawawala naman po or tatanggalin na rin po natin ang mga tinaas po natin tropical cyclone wind signal.
Meron po ba tayong nakataas na gale warning kahit na papalabas po itong Bagyong Marce?
Sa ngayon, meron pa rin po tayong gale warning po dito na lang po sa seaboards po ng Northern Luzon. So, wasahan na rin po natin. Habang papalayo din po siya, possible po magtanggal na rin po tayo ng ating gale warning.
Alright, sige. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. That was Pag-asa Weather Forecaster Chanel Dominguez. Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Now, sizzling at the 8th spot is about the education sector. The Education Department plans to reduce the subjects offered in grades 11 and 12 next school year. Education Secretary Sani Angara said the curriculum for senior high school next school year will focus more on providing work immersion. This aims to make senior high school graduates more qualified to join the workforce. The Employers Confederation of the Philippines, or ECOP, is currently coordinating with DepEd regarding this plan.
Yung more for work na mga subject na sa reading nila, sana yung mga learning for literacy, sa work literacy, yung writing nila, yung mga report making, yung mga gano'n para sa work, maitama doon. Even yung mga research nila, it should be tailored na we will be working.
Now, to get more insights about this, we have Professor Eleanor Barami of the USC College of Education. Prof, thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to both of you.
Yes. Sige, of course, we would like to know your general insights about this, yung proposed reduction of subjects in grades 11 and 12.
Actually, it's such a good move from the DepEd. That's something that was a very good decision because they also consulted with other agencies and other employers. So yun talaga yung gusto natin i-push na to increase employability because that's the point naman of K-12.
Yes.
Para makapag-work na yung those who opt to work after the senior high school and they're competent enough and they do have the skills, working abilities, and whatever skills and knowledge they need in the workplace.
Yeah, but the question I'd like to ask, although ang point nito is to make most of the students in senior high school work ready, pero hindi ba also critical yung building the foundation with regards to theories, in general, yung academics?
Right. Well, DepEd naman, what they're proposing is really still maintaining about 5 to 6 core knowledge-based subjects that will still target those competencies and those knowledge and information that the students do need. But at the same time, importante kasi yung strengthening also the other soft skills that are needed for the workplace. Kasi yun talaga yung kailangan.
Yep, I'd like to ask kasi also about nagiging issue recently sa mga estudyante natin sa Philippines, in particular, is reading and speaking, reading comprehension and speaking. Now, you think we should also focus on enhancing this while also immersing them in work para at least pagdating nila ng college years, medyong rounded na sila, well-rounded sila?
Well, definitely. I think that's really the foundational concepts or knowledge and even skills that students have to learn. The writing, the reading, the speaking. But at the same time, I think for those who opt to have yung dun sa tech voc strand, I think mariretain din naman yung mga knowledge-based subjects na yon. But I think it's gonna be created more towards their workplace. So wherever they decide to work. So parang mas practical siya, kumbaga.
Yeah.
And those who opt to go to a more academic strand, na go to college or go to tertiary education, those foundational subjects are still gonna be there for them.
Problem kasi po, minsan ang nagiging nakikita nilang issue dito is yung wala silang makita ng kahit na ito na, magkakaroon ng immersion, di ba? Magiging work ready yung mga senior high school natin. But nagiging problem daw nakikita nila dito is hindi naman sila employable kasi yung some of the companies here pa rin, they still, accept or they still want yung mga college graduate.
That's true. I actually agree with that. We see a lot of those on social media na parang for a job, let's say for example, sa fast food, gusto nila parang 4-year degree yung natapos.
Yes.
So I think we have to also think about yung mga employers. I think it's a matter also of collaborating and consulting with the employers to figure out na parang we have to change also the way we hire our employees. Kasi you have to understand that not everyone is made for
Yeah.
a 4-year degree. Not everyone is really made for an academic track.
Oh.
Others are more practical in terms of their skill, 'di ba?
Yes, yes.
Mas tech-voc sila. So I think one of the things also that DepEd emphasized was that what they want to do aside from the alignment is to also make sure na merong TESDA national certificates yung mga makakatapos ng TechVoc at the same time mukhang i-require din nila na pati those who are taking a more academic strand to also have national certificates from TESDA.
But
So,
Prof,
which is a great move.
I'd like to add on to that, Prof, na kasi for example, they start their work immersion. Siyempre, matutuwa yung mga students kasi while immersing, I think may income silang, slight income na makukuha. Is there a danger na most of them that come from yung families that need the income, baka hindi na bumalik sa school? Are there safeguards in place na para maengganyo sila to continue on with studies?
Well, I think kasi with the K-12, kailangan talaga nila matapos. Like, to get the certificate and para to consider them as nakagraduate ng K-12, they have to finish their program. So, I don't think aabot naman sa point na hopefully na kasi usually pag internship naman, ano yan meron yan certain number of hours lang and certain number of weeks that they're employed in a certain company and then they have to move on to another. So I think ano pa rin yun, that they're still considered students even if they're earning. So kailangan pa rin nila matapos yung K-12, yung senior high school nila.
Oo. Yun nga kasi just to touch up lang dun sa point ni Diego, kasi minsan baka ang kinakatakot din dito ng ilang mga magulang, baka daw, well, I get your point po kanina na sinabi nyo, hindi lahat po born to finish yung 4-year course at yung iba nangangailangan ng trabaho. Pero yung isang issue nila dyan is baka naman in the future, mas maraming mga estudyante ngayon will be encouraged, no? Not to, pursue college anymore because after senior high school naman, I can already be employed and earn money.
Well, if you think about it, in other developed countries, I think, di ba, parang ganun din yung nila, ganun din yung tingin nila. But in the same way, I mean, I want to go back to my point earlier that if the student or if an individual feels na parang, okay, like I'm enjoying earning, but at the same time, I also wanna, pursue a college degree or bachelor's degree, some of them, what they do is they work on the side. So parang naging working student sila. So I think it's really a matter of how motivated the student is. I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to internal motivation. Like what motivates them to study, what motivates them to find a job.
Yeah, but I'd like to ask now, like in the US, for example, for those who are not yet in college but are graduates of the similar K-12 program nila, meron salary grade that they, even if they come into the workplace, and they go up against a college graduate, the salary grade for a college graduate would be higher than that of a high school. Do you see that program here so that para maengganyo pa rin ang students to finish college na even if they're ready to work sa high school, teka lang, pag college diniretso ko, mas maganda ang salary ko. Are we in touch with Dole regarding these issues?
Well, I think DepEd and all other agencies, TESDA and DOLE, should take that into account as well. Kasi nga naman, di ba, you are compensated based on your competencies and also based on your background, educational background. So, tama yung sinabi nyo na obviously, pag associate's degree, may konting additional yon.
Right.
Tapos pag bachelor's degree ka naman, may additional yon. More so pag may master's degree. So, it really does matter. Your educational, I think, background really does matter. But I think for now, what DepEd is trying to address is really for students to finish K-12 at the same time being able to be employed after.
I don't know if you have information about this, but kailan daw nila plano gawin, ma-implement itong slightly na pagbabago pagdating sa senior high school, yung pag-reduce nila ng subjects?
I do not have the information at the moment because I think DepEd
Right.
just came up with this yesterday.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
hopefully, they take into account to consider this by next academic year.
And I think I want to also touch up yung focus naman natin doon sa, ito napag-usapan na natin to before pa Prof, yung tungkol sa mga kakulangan ng equipment at sa classroom, di ba, sa mga different schools natin dito sa Philippines, lalo na some of the classroom, most of the classrooms here were affected by the recent typhoons.
Well, I think DepEd has a lot of work to do, especially with the change of leadership. Although I do believe that right now, I think they're really making an effort with all the changes. And I saw the list of some of the assistant directors that DepEd has assigned. And I think they are definitely very much competent and capable. So hopefully we see the changes that we have been really trying to see and really trying to parang work on in our educational system.
Sa bagay, kaka-start pa lang naman ni Secretary
Angara.
Sunny Angara. But from then, meron na po ba kayong assessment so far kay Secretary Angara?
I think it's a little bit too early to make any
right.
comments on that, but we'll see. We'll be watching. We'll be definitely watching what DepEd is doing. Hopefully, I think at least speaking for the tertiary level, I hope there's more collaboration with CHED because
Right.
we do need DepEd's help, especially in alignment of our curriculum, para alam din namin kung anong gagawin namin.
Alright, sige. On that note, thank you so much for joining us today. That
Thank
was
you very
Professor Eleanor Barami, faculty ng UST College of Education. Thank you so much for joining us today. Alright, coming up, Senator Win Gatchalian breaks his silence about the involvement of his family in the SUV with a Senate protocol plate.
And lawmakers are keeping a close eye on father and daughter Rodrigo and Sara Duterte over several issues. Father and daughter.
Marami pa tayong issue mga pag-uusapan today, but we are just getting started, mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're you're still watching Brunch here on One News, Friday na po. Siyempre,
Oo,
pag
Friday.
Friday, it's
Buddha's belly.
Buddha's belly. We have
Oo.
hakaw, yung yang chow, and of course, different kinds of
Dim sum platter. Oo, dim sum platter
Batiin ko
yan.
lang to. Ay, gusto mo lang bumati
Hindi ko,
dyan?
hinahanap ko nga dito
Batiin
eh.
ko lang tong nasa Facebook natin.
Yan, okay,
Di ba
oh.
si Alex Fuentes, si Ralph Domingo, Chow Friday. Sabi niya si Sam Pokemon Go. Tapos, ano pa? Mina Benadas, of course. Si Mayor Abad, pinapabati niya si Tito Jing. Si Cab Hansel Cabreros Lanz at saka si Aki Cabreros Moshi Luzon Matsuo. Sino pa? Si Ronald Macstay, si Garico, si Geraldine Balolong, Tita Daisy, Tito Naldi, Tito Nito. Mga nanonood din sa atin.
Ayun, nandito na sila lahat eh. So,
Oo.
same message lang naman.
Yes.
Oo.
Okay,
Right.
sige, let's
move on.
continue with our countdown. On our 7th spot, Bongbong Marcos, or President Bongbong Marcos, approves the purchase of 40 fast patrol crafts from France. The additional vessels will be used by the Philippine Coast Guard. Some of them will be deployed to the West Philippine Sea as part of the PCG's mix of capabilities. PCG Commandant Admiral Ronnie Gavan said this is the largest single purchase for the modernization of the Coast Guard. Yun. So, sinasabi nga dyan kasi under official development assistance. So, yung 40 patrol boats, tapos yung gagastusin or manggagaling yung kalahati ng pondo or some of the pondo will be coming from France government, which is 25.8
French
billion.
government.
French government. Tapos, yun nga, sinasabi nila, some of the patrols or some of the, yung crafts na to will be used doon sa pagpapatrol sa, natin, for maritime defense sa West
Tsaka
Philippine Sea.
Tsaka since fast craft ito, response. Kasi
Yes.
kaya kailangan fast craft kasi archipelagic tayo or archipelago, madaming mga isla. So kailangan yung response from island to island is mabilis. Now the bigger the craft kasi, the slower the response. Yung bigger crafts usually ng Coast Guard, pang station yan.
Yes.
Ngayon, pag hindi station, response time, yung fast craft, perfect. So we have 40 of these.
Yes.
Smaller, hindi maganda ito pang engagement, pero maganda ito pang response.
Pang response.
Oo.
Kaya nga 'di ba kasi there are crimes being committed also sa dagat, 'di ba? Yung mga drug trafficking, smuggling, illegal fishing.
Yung mga napapanood mo
this
sa
will
movie.
This will help nga daw curb it.
Mga napapanood mo sa movie tulad ng sa Bad Boys, yung Miami Coast.
Yes.
Pag nagre-respond ng Coast Guard, makikita mo small boats ang pinag-respond nila when they board drug traffickers.
Oo.
Tulad-
Mabilis
trafficking.
mabilis humabol.
Oo. Mabilis humabol, oo.
Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown.
Now, on the sixth spot is about the U.S. elections. Some Filipino Americans are concerned with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's proposed policies like mass deportation of immigrants. From Washington, D.C., we have with us Joby Francisco with the report.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement.
A triumphant Donald Trump greeted his supporters in West Palm Beach, Florida, shortly after emerging victorious in the 2024 presidential elections. It was a far cry from the mood in their camp after the 2020 elections when violence broke out in the U.S. Capitol after he urged supporters to march and protest Joe Biden's win. As the real S8 mogul ascends to the White House a second time, his supporters want him to focus on immigration right away.
Well, close the border. Got to close the border. Stop these people from crossing.
This worries some of the Filipinos here in America.
As you know, there's very high so-called TNT population ng mga Pilipino sa Amerika. They will be very at risk. And if President-elect Trump will take a very inhumane approach to dealing with undocumented Filipinos in America.
Yeah, he changes his mind all the time. So we just have to go with it because the 4 years we had with him was also rough. It's going to be a rough ride. Very dark and gloomy, but again, we just have to work together for the sake of democracy.
Some Filipino Americans who are supporters of Vice President Kamala Harris admit they were shocked by the results of the election and are still processing what went wrong.
bit sad, a bit shocking, a bit gloomy that our candidate Kamala Harris didn't win. But I just have to just say maybe it's not her time. But I hope that someday that a woman will be able to become president.
She had only less than 100 days to launch her campaign to get the American people to know her in her priorities, and she lost to the INI, the inflation and illegal immigration priorities of the majority of the voters dito sa Amerika. I'm optimistic that reasonable advisors to President-elect Trump will have good influence on him to live up to his commitment to his audiences, that he will be a unifier, he will heal the divisions.
Meanwhile, COMELEC Commissioners Marlon Casquejo, Socorro Inting, Amy Ferolino, and Nelson Celis are also here in America to observe the conduct of their presidential elections. They took note of best practices that they think can be replicated in the Philippines, such as early voting and mail-in voting.
Dito kasi may early voting and you can choose mail voting. Dun sa local sa atin is one-day election. So on the day of the election, dadagsa talaga dapat nandun lahat tao. Kaya dito, napansin namin, kukunti na lang kasi sabi nila, the other, yung mga iba, they avail the mail voting and early voting.
This coming May 2025 elections, COMELEC is implementing online voting for the first time for overseas voters. So while in DC, the commissioners also took time to explain to our kababayans this new mode of voting.
They are excited. Gusto nila yung internet voting kasi na-explain natin na they don't have to go to outside their house, so they don't need to be absent
Sa
in their
work.
work.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
pwede
important.
nilang gawin sa gabi before matulog or pagising. Pwede mag-internet sila and then they will vote. So very convenient on their part.
Aside from the US, Filipino voters in the UAE, Czech Republic, Canada, and Qatar can now also vote online. Philam voters are hopeful that this will eventually pave the way for better and easier voting channels for Filipinos everywhere. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Joey Francisco, we are One News.
Pero yung isang in-interview ni Joby dyan, sinabi na naig daw ang INI, yung inflation and immigration. Actually, totoo yan because when you look at the numbers, what drove Trump's victory was a influx of young male voters. No? Talagang regardless of race, they voted for it. Yung messaging was very simple. Ang taas na nga ng presyo ng bilihin, you can't get enough groceries, and yet meron ka pang mga illegal na nakikinabang. Yung messaging niya, nakikinabang with you. So parang na-insight yung mga damdamin ng mga young men saying, teka lang, diba? Parang, paano ko papakainin pamilya ko, tapos may kaagaw pa. So those two things ang messaging niya that the campaign hit. That proved to be effective sa winning the election.
Yeah. Pero yun nga yung sinasabi ng mga tao, di ba yung sinabi niya, ito daw mass deportation is the best way to address new category of crime called migrant crime. And in essence, wala naman siyang data doon na pagpapatunay na tumaas yung crime rate sa Amerika dahil sa mga illegal immigrants. No? So parang it's not safe to say na porket illegal ka, sangkot ka na sa mga iba't ibang krimen, di ba? Na may mga crime reports na.
I think the general message lang naman, and I think most...
That's what he said, ha?
No, I'm saying the general messaging, and most Americans would agree na even...
And he still plans to build the wall talaga doon sa Mexico. I think nag-start yun during his administration. Ngayon talagang dadagdagan pa o tataasan pa yung mga yung wall na yun to make sure na talagang wala daw mag-illegally cross ng
yun nga yung
border
word the word you just used, illegal, di ba? He did not say we are preventing immigrants. He just simply said, pag illegal ka, gumaan ka sa tamang proseso.
Sabi niya, wala nang hindi na kami magtatayo ng mga migrant camps dito dahil kapag nahuli namin sila, diretso namin sila papatapon sa bansa nila. Yun ang sinabi niya.
Oo, because naman...
But you've seen the migrant camps na pinakita, di ba, during ng mga last few years, di ba, kawawa naman din yung mga batang naiiwan doon.
Iba yung refugee sa siya immigrant. Ang sinasabi ni Trump is coming illegally like TNTs and ano. If you want to go into the country, come in legally, go through the process. Ganun naman din ang Pilipinas. Ganun din ang ibang bansa sa mundo. Gusto mo manirahan dito, dumaan ka sa tamang proseso. It's that simple lang naman. That is the general sentiment of even the Americans. Come in legally like the rest of us did. Nakikinabang kami sa mga benefits as a US citizen, pero dumaan kami sa tama. Why should we share, yun ang nila message, why should we share the same benefits with you na dumaan sa maling proseso? Mag-apply ka, dumaan ka sa tama. Very simple ang message na. And that's what the campaign hit. So we'll see after 4 years, kung nagtrabaho siya na maayos, magiging referendum na naman. Baka kung palpak trabaho niya, the next president will be a Democrat.
Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Coming in at our 5th spot, Finance Chief Ralph Recto says it is still hard to tell how a Trump presidency could impact the economic landscape in the Philippines. According to Recto, the country will benefit if Trump fulfills his campaign promises. These include taming down inflation and ending the war in Ukraine, among others.
If President Trump, being a real estate person, will see the value of the Philippines, then it also may be good for the Philippines. On another take, if President Trump will be good for global security, and if you have less geopolitical tensions and less wars, then that should be good for everyone.
Alright, so yun nga sinasabi ni NEDA Secretary Balisacan, nasa ano pa tayo, wait and see mode, no? Kasi wala pang yung direct official proclamation, pero president-elect na siya. The transfer of power will be finalized by January
January 20 pa siya.
So talaga naman na wait and see mode pa tayo. Pero isa sa mga tinitingnan daw nila ng mga campaign promise ni President-elect Donald Trump ay yung pag-impose ng more tariffs sa non-China products and bigger tariff dun sa mga Chinese goods. Yan na talaga isa sa mga campaign promise niya. Although sinasabi naman ng Philippines then that although ang US ang ating top importer, di ba, ng ating mga goods, etc., ay we're also exercising and talking or discussing free trade deals with other nations.
Although two birds, parang half-half yung sa nangyayari sa China. Parang although may tension tayo with China, and when US imposes tariffs on China, in essence, sinasakal nila yung economy ng China, which would work well with us in the short term because instead of the Chinese government focusing on US-Philippine issue, nalilihi sila sa problema sa exports nila to the US. Kasi malaki din ang export nila sa US. But on the other hand, pag hindi sila maka-export na maayos sa US dahil sa tariffs, baka yung mga ibang goods na natitira na pinapadala sa Asia, sa Philippines, baka dito sila bumawi at taasan nila yung price. But then again, as PBBM said from the start, he plans to stimulate the economy not by just importing. Problema, import tayo ng import. Pero sana improve. This will now force us to strengthen our industrial sector.
Mga producing industry.
Para matuto na tayo, para hindi tayo beholden sa mga international politics kung ano yung paano tatakbo economy. Now, we still have a strong industry.
Can you imagine, we have, rice country tayo, pero ang daming importation na ginagawa natin.
We are the top importer of rice.
Diba?
One of the top importers in the world.
Sa
and yet,
chicken, ganun din ngayon.
we are the most sufficient.
Swamp tayo sa imports ngayon, kaya yung mga farmers natin namumblema. Diba? Kasi ang baba-baba na ng mga...
So ano ba yung economy natin? An import economy or human capital economy? Diba? Or we have a very weak industry. So we have to strengthen our own industry para hindi naman tayo laging wait and see.
Doon sa mga nangyayari sa mga bigger countries natin. Tapos, diba?
Hindi natin
maiwasan yun.
Yes,
epekto.
But to minimize the effects, yun nga, ano industry natin? Let's decide. Diba? Is it human capital? Is it import, export? Is it, simple industry like yung microchip, nickel, copper, palakasin natin yun, di ba?
Human services, doon tayo
we can start making cars here dahil pag ginawa mo dito, ang mura ng labor, so the prices of cars will go down, di ba? Yes. So anyway, ang dami pang pag-uusapan about that.
Pero wait and see mode pa nga lang muna tayo doon sa mga policies pag-upo ni President-elect Donald Trump. Alright, let's continue with our countdown.
Arriving at the 4th spot is another contentious issue about protocol plates. Now, the Transportation Department aims to reduce the number of protocol plates being issued to government officials. The Land Transportation Office, or LTO, currently issues a protocol plate based on filed requests from government officials. Usually, senators get 2 protocol plates, but because of the controversial SUV that used a fake protocol plate, Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista wants the LTO to only issue 1 protocol plate per government official.
Actually, pinag-aaralan namin yan, ano? Kasi ngayon, yung mga senators, they are allowed 2 protocol plates, no? Speaker of the House, mas marami, no? Senate President, 4, no? We're looking at it.
Yan, kasi dami ng protocol plate.
Totoo. Tsaka ay ang mga protocol plate na yan, nasa memorandum yan nung binigay ng LTO na hindi yan transferable.
Oo.
Diba? Tapos ano din yan, ang tawag doon, kaakibat din yan kapag nag-resign na yung or wala na sa term yung isang kongresista or senador or any official na may protocol
Wala na yan.
plate. Wala na rin yun.
Tsaka yung logic na 2 protocol plates, it doesn't make sense because the plate is assigned to the car that is assigned to the government official.
Yes.
Pag kinabit mo yung 7 or 8 dyan,
Yun na yun.
at mahila at makita ng kunyari coding, may ano na yan may exemptions yan sa coding because during function yan. So sasabihin mo, I need another protocol plate para pang coding. Hindi po, kasi may exemption ka na. So dapat i-maintain natin kung ano yung official car mo pang ginagamit mo sa work na dineclare mo sa lower house o sa upper house, doon nakakabit, yun na yun. Ba't mo kailangan ng second? Di ba? Kasi hindi naman daw kasama ang asawa, hindi naman kasama ang anak sa protocol plates.
Sige, mamaya pag-usapan pa natin yan. But ito Senator Win Gatchalian has spoken up about his family's connection to a controversial SUV with 7 protocol plate. Here's the report.
Senator Win Gatchalian is neither confirming nor denying reports that his family owns a Senate-plated vehicle that figured in a recent traffic violation. Recall that a luxury SUV bearing a number 7 protocol plate illegally entered the EDSA busway last weekend and almost ran the traffic enforcer over. The driver of the vehicle, owned by Orient Pacific Corporation, has since apologized and has been fined for the violation. Gatchalian's father and brother are board members of Orient Pacific Corporation.
Iwan na lang natin sa LTO kung ano yung kanilang desisyon at ano yung kanilang gagawin. Mahirap naman mag-comment habang nag-iimbestiga sila. And the LTO naman ay on top of this situation.
Initial probe of the Land Transportation Office found that the SUV's protocol plate was fake. For Senator Joel Villanueva, the LTO should be on top of the investigation. He finds it strange, though, that people are making a big deal out of the issue.
And I hope that this will not be a big thing. I just find it, I just find it weird na it's a national news, and the LTO should just do their part. Let's be all responsible. Do the right thing.
So sir, kung may pag-abuso sa paggamit ng
Just do the right thing. Whatever you need to do, you have to do it.
Parang sinulo kasi ng entitlement.
Exactly. That's why you have to do the right thing. LTO should do the right thing. All of us should do the right thing. We're all responsible. Much is given, much is required, as the Bible says. Public office is a public trust.
One of those who see the road incident as more than a traffic violation is Gatchalian and Villanueva's colleague, Senator Raffy Tulfo. Tulfo wants the passengers of the controversial SUV to come forward too and do some explaining. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
Basta dapat natin tandaan, yung pagbibigay po ng mga ganyang plates, mga protocol plates yan, ay privilege po yan, hindi yan karapatan.
Kaya if napag-uusapan po yan on a national scale, hindi mo po masisisi rin yung general public. It's because we're trying to just highlight kung ano yung mga asta ng mga certain officials with regards to being responsible. Diba? They were entrusted with that seat and that office. And pare-pareho po tayo nagsasuffer through traffic, pare-pareho tayo nagsasuffer through baku-bakong kalye, and we all pay our taxes. Hindi naman tayo, hindi mo nakikita ang majority of us passing through the busway. Hindi, wala naman ganun eh.
Diba? Sunod lang tayo sa traffic rules.
Sumunod lang. Kayo, di ba, as lawmakers, you're encouraging everyone to follow the rule of law. Di ba? Follow the rule of law. Pero if you yourselves can't follow the rule of law,
be our example.
What is your moral turpitude to tell us to follow the rule of law? Kayo din mismo, hindi kayo sumusunod, di ba?
Naku, gumamit na ng big words. Moral turpitude. Don't go away because we're not done yet. Ilan pa tayo?
May dalawa pa.
Yes.
Dalawa pa.
Stay with us. Break muna tayo. Brunch break. Before proceeding with the rest of our countdown, let's have our brunch break.
We have with us Direct Ryan Carlos live in the studio. He's the new head of the Training and Development Department of MQuest Artists Agency. Direct, we were talking a while ago.
Yes, ako, thank you for having me in your show.
It's so nice to have you here, Direct. Welcome.
Thank you.
So you're the new for what do you do specifically?
Yeah, I'm heading now the training department of the MQuest Artists Agency.
Ah,
so for the
okay.
longest time, I've been teaching acting for the past 26 years. Okay, and aside from, of course, still writing and directing films and television.
I'd like to ask, siyempre matagal na kayo sa industriya also, but what do you see in terms of progress with regards of how we take artists in and shape them up to be the best they can be? Kasi there are different modes of acting. There's technical acting, there's a being. What is the right thing to take them through?
Okay. Mine kasi is, when I started teaching acting, ang dami kong tinuturo sa artista. Pero, my technique is the Chabak technique. So, I'm the only accredited teacher of the Chabak technique here in the Philippines. And what is the Chabak technique?
Ba yun?
It was, my mentor is Ivana Chabak. Okay? Ivana Chabak is the one who trained Halle Berry, Brad Pitt, Jimon Hunsu, Jim Carrey, Sharon Stone, and even Gal Gadot, 60% to 80% of Academy Award nominees and winners,
Uses technique.
even Tony Awards, was trained by Chaba. So when I read the book, The Power of the Actor, I easily contacted Ibarra Chabak right away. Tapos sabi niya, why not you go here to LA in my Hollywood studio and be on a teacher's training? So I went there last 2011. I trained with her in a very rigorous training. Then only to find out, she gave me, I can give you an accreditation. So up to now, I'm the only accredited teacher of the Chabak technique. And what is the difference between the Chabak
we'd like to know
technique?
that.
Kasi most of the actors, let's say, all my respect for them, di ba sila from Direk Pecket to Direk Gina Alahar to Direk Leo Martinez, being yan eh.
Yes.
And all my respect sa being ng Eric Morris. Ang difference lang of the Chabak technique compared to the ones that was developed in the past is I teach actors to use emotions not as an end result, but as a way to empower a goal. Halimbawa, hindi yung iyak pa, tawa pa. No. You need to explain and communicate to the actors the objectives.
Yun.
Let's say, kunyari, in a scene, tatanungin ko sila. Magre-rehearse sila. Tatanungin ko sila, what is your overall objective? What is your scene objective? Let's say, kunyari, a scene from One More Chance. Si Popoy at si Basha. Alam natin. Si Basha is to get you to love me again in spite of I left you. Si Popoy naman, let's say, to get you to feel my pain because you left me, but I still love you.
Yeah.
Kailangan naintindihan ng artista yon. Tapos, we will personalize it, which I call kakargahan mo. In English, substitution. You personalize it. So, who in your life do you want to get that love again? It can be from your dad, from your mom, from your ex.
Yes, oo.
Para with the workshop ako. I understand kasi ako, I was oriented in the world of being. But I understand your goal. You're opening up a vessel. You're putting in the right material instead of generalizing all actors using one platform. So lumalabas, iba-ibang styles, no? But
basta Diego, hindi ko makakalimutan talaga nung nag-artista kita
Ay,
sa
dalawa
teleplay.
yung magkakilala kayo.
I just want to know the public to know.
For context, I'd like to let the public know. Direct wrote one of the horror episodes I did.
My first teleplay in the industry, that was...
I hope I didn't disappoint you, Direk.
No, you were love teams then. Ang gagaling ninyo, di ba?
But Direk, let's talk about your stint now. How do you feel about it?
Yes, he's the new head.
Yes. Number one, I'm very excited. It's a pioneering agency, and I'm excited to train actors. Actually, we started already. When I was boarded by Sir Jeffrey Remigio last September, I trained already the first batch of the artist training.
Okay.
And grabe, napaka-teachable nila. The most important is teachable and vulnerable.
Totoo.
Yung mga artista. Tapos ang pinaka-tinuro ko sa kanila, first things first, is ethics, discipline for actors.
So it's not just acting. You're teaching them everything, all facets of the industry.
Yes. Kasi para bang, they need to be prepared.
Yeah.
Totoo.
Yung alam mo yon, yung even the pressure, as simple as, I'm not Filipino time, I'm American time and Japanese time. If you're 1 minute late in my class, wait to be seated outside. Yung ganon, the discipline. And then they need to prepare. Ganito yan in one scene that the actors will do, yan nakikita ninyo, they need to rehearse that for 6 hours.
Oo.
As in.
Diba? As in, ganun ka. Magkakaroon po kayo ng public workshop,
Yes,
acting workshop.
yes.
Can you tell us more about it?
All right. We will launch in MQAA this coming December, the first ever public workshops, because number one, I want to continue training actors this time since I'm the only accredited teacher of the Chabak technique, I want them to win, meaning my actors land jobs and win awards. And I'm proud to say that. Basta't magsipag lang. Kasi 50% will come from me, the 50% will come from the sipag of the actor. And the purpose of the MQAA workshop is for us to discover more talents in our roster. Meaning, may pupuntahan sila.
Oo.
So you're
Parang gagawin natin
Yeah.
grassroots di ba? Dito
Yes.
So it's open to those who are not in the field yet, but is it open to
Yes,
former
it's
actors and
yes,
right?
it's open to all kinds of actors.
Okay.
To the newbies, even to the veteran ones. Because in my masterclass, may mga veterano kong artista doon. These are, I will offer introductory, advanced level 1, advanced level 2, and the masterclass. And those in the masterclass are those working actors, okay, like you, who's into that level. Kasi I always tell them, actors really rust. Nangangalawang ang
Totoo.
artista.
That's true.
You're just as good as your last work.
Totoo.
Ay, naku, I agree
Di
with
ba
that.
ito kanina pinag-usapan
I
din
agree with
namin
that.
Every day is a learning process.
Yes, acting
diba?
is a lifestyle of learning.
So direct.
Bakit? People change, so acting changes as well.
That's correct.
At tinatanong nyo kanina, saan ba nanggagaling ang mga actors ngayon? Ngayon, di ba, mga actors hindi lang for film and television. May mga digital artists.
May digital
that's right,
artists
that's right,
na,
oo.
mga
Social
form-
media.
Yes, the form is there. Nagbablog, di ba? Or may camera ka lang, pwede ka ng artista.
Yes.
Pero, ano yung discipline? That's the most important. Yun ang hindi mo matututunan sa TikTok. Yun ang hindi mo matututunan sa social media. Yung rigorous training. Let's go down to the basic muna, the foundation muna. Ano yung what we put in from the inside, parang garbage in, garbage out.
Totoo.
So that's all part of your
Training.
Training, yung
Okay.
workshop.
Training.
Oo.
Para siyang semester kasi you need to go introductory, then I will assess you if you go to advanced level 1, advanced level 2, until you get to the master class, which is the working actors already.
I'd like to
So I
ask
believe this is not going to be the first time na magkakaroon ng public
Ay, hindi.
workshop.
This will
is
be
just
a
the
continuous
beginning.
one. Oo, kaya nga lang, I just want to share to the public that we will start now. And I want to have that massive campaign of, if you really want to become actors, sensible and good actors, yung nag-aaral, yung may disiplina, hindi yung parang pa-cute ka lang sa TikTok and all that.
Totoo. You work hard for it.
Yeah. Yung kasi, di ba, sa totoo naman, you know that, Diego, di ba, ang labanan talaga, hindi ba pwedeng wala kang alam pag sa harap sa camera.
Let's go back to being
Acting
competent.
is all about
yeah.
hard work, and hard work. Mag-aral ang artista.
I agree with that. Baka direct, you'd like to invite most of our viewers and mga aspiring actors to join your workshops and how they can look you up.
Yeah, I'm inviting the public to watch, to join our MQAA workshop. And this time we will offer acting, dance, and voice because we want to discover triple threat star, triple threat actor. And we will start this December. We will start our registration on November 23 onwards. And you can check our Instagram and FB account, MQAA Workshops.
MQAA Workshop.
Or you can check my account, Ryan Carlos, RAHYAN.
There you
My
go.
Ryan Carlos is different. And they can check there the link.
Okay.
And then they can enroll in our
And
class.
all information nandun na.
Yes.
Doon na lahat. Sige, abangan natin yan. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you,
today, Direk
Angela.
Ryan
And it's good to
Carlos.
reconnect with you.
Oo nga eh. Kanina kasama namin siya sa baba eh.
Diba?
We should catch up.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you so much again for
Thank
joining
you.
us, Direk Ryan Carlos, MQuest Artist Agency Training and Development Head.
Alright, don't go away because we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Since madami yung pag-usapan, let's get right to it. Now on our second spot, Vice President Sara Duterte continues to skip congressional hearings. House lawmakers are looking into her office's anomalous use of funds. Other OVP officials who may have been involved are also not showing up. Representative Joel Chua told Storycon that they have enough grounds to file an impeachment case against Duterte.
Betrayal of public trust, one. Number two, graft and corruption. Number three, bribery.
All right, let's get to our top story for today. Our top story for today is the House Quadcom hearing yesterday. The former driver and security aide of ex-President Rodrigo Duterte denied having any involvement in the alleged reward system during the drug war. Here's a report.
Sonny Buenaventura worked with former President Rodrigo Duterte for 2 decades. He was his driver and security aide when the ex-president was just the mayor of Davao City. For Buenaventura, Duterte is a kind person who will help those who are in need. He shared how Duterte helped his family when his wife was sick.
Tinawag niya si Bong, Bong, tulungan mo si Sunny. Yung tinulungan po ako. 2 beses na operahan yung misis ko. Cancer patient.
Buenaventura said he is loyal to Duterte.
1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest.
10.
Retired police officer and former Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office General Manager Regina Garma tagged Buenaventura as one of the personalities involved in the alleged reward system during the drug war. Garma said Buenaventura was tasked to hand out money to station commanders. Buenaventura denied these accusations.
Gawa-gawa lang niya ang lahat para makaiwas siya sa lahat ng mabibigat na issues laban sa kanya. Colonel Garma should not accuse anybody to save herself.
The former security aide of Duterte also denied Garma's accusation that he was the boss of self-confessed hitman Edgar Matobato.
Security driver lang po ako.
Pero
Security driver.
would you confirm na kayo po ay kilala ni Edgar Matobato bilang isa sa mga tao ni
Isang
Mayor
pulis po,
Duterte?
isang pulis.
Buenaventura reacted to the alleged organizational chart of the Davao Death Squad or DDS revealed by retired police officer Arturo Las Cañas. In the chart, Duterte was codenamed as Superman. Buenaventura confirmed that people in Davao City are calling Duterte as Superman, but he rejected the existence of the DDS. Buenaventura insisted that he only heard about it from the media.
Yan ang call sign niya sa radio. Sa amin yun.
Everybody in DDS call Mayor Duterte as Superman.
Sino pong DDS, ma'am?
Garma was not present in the hearing because she was just recently discharged from a hospital. Her lawyers denied Police Colonel Hector Grijaldo's previous claims that House Quadcom co-chairpersons Dan Fernandez and Benny Abante coerced him into confirming Garma's claims. Former President Rodrigo Duterte also skipped the hearing yesterday. He insisted that his attendance in the Senate hearing on the war on drugs was already enough.
Mahaba-haba yung issue na yan. Ang hirap pag-usapan ngayon na wala na tayong oras eh.
Oo, parang magkaka-stalemate sa ginagawa nila. But of course, in age of legislation daw, supposedly.
Hindi pa rin pumunta si Pangulong
No,
Rodrigo
I don't
Duterte.
think he will go because it's not friendly for his turf. And iiwasan nilang sound bites na hindi magaganda. Alright, and it's a Friday.
Thank you so much, Buddhist Belly.
Buddhist Belly, thank you very much. All our viewers, thank you for this week about sticking with us. Daming
Si
issues.
Marvin Chavez.
Marvin Chavez, direct. Daming pinagdaanan. Have a happy weekend, everyone. And with that, I would like to leave you with a quote for the day that hopefully will get you through the weekend. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. A quote from Oscar Wilde. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch. Join us again tomorrow. She's Angela Lagonzad Caso. I'm Angelo Castro III. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Happy Friday.